Good, beautiful morning. Welcome to the Monday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. My name is William Michael Ford. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And I want to welcome you to today's show, which is Your Psychic Projections, the Good and the Bad, with Lord Metatron present with us today. I also want to make an announcement to my patrons. If you check your email, you'll see that you received the link to watch the replay of our live event from Saturday, the Ascended Teaching lesson on the conscious love conceived gives birth to all light. Conscious love conceived gives birth to all light. So patrons, that video is now available to you on my Patreon page, and you have the link for that. And it was really an amazing session. I hope you go check that out. We are at a very powerful time in human history right now, and it comes about as a result of what it is you are doing with your mind and what you are thinking about and feeling about. These emanate from you, and they organize conditions in your environment, your thoughts and your emotions through the medium of your body give structure to what you call the material world. And this has both good and not so good consequences to it. The good consequence is that if the thoughts and the emotions and the actions, if they're in alignment to that which is good, then you create structures in your experience of this physical dimension that you would deem as good or positive. Whereas if the thoughts and emotions and actions of a negative nature, they organize structures in the physical world that you would call not so good or negative or destructive. The existing conditions on your planet today are such that the amount of energy that is available for the act of creation is not exclusive to some or others. It is increased for everyone. All of you have an increased availability of energy available to be used on this physical dimension. In reality, there is no more nor no less energy in the overall spectrum of infinite consciousness. It is equal at all points of time, space, both linearly and non-linearly. But from the perspective of this physical dimension, quantitatively speaking, there can appear to be more or less of a thing, more good, more bad. But again, it is only the appearance of that. In this particular manifestation of consciousness, you have the opportunity to deliberately and intentionally organize structures of matter to gain an awareness of your personal capability to change things. Every thought and emotion that you conceive of or give attention to generates an organization of substance. Every thought and emotion that you align to generates an organization of substance. The geometry to these substances isn't what is important at this point. That can come later when a deeper understanding of your causal relationship to this dimension through the use of your thoughts and emotion is understood. But it is important you understand, even if only basically, that when you have a certain thought and you have a certain emotion, that there is a certain manifestation that is experienced immediately by your own biology first and foremost. Now, these energies I am calling projections, the emanation of emotion and thought wave from the locus of your biology, from the locus of your consciousness, the center point of those places, operates as a projection, an energy that moves out from your body in concentric spheres. And that these spheres have an amplitude and a strength to them that is greater or lesser depending upon the nature and quality of the thoughts and the emotions that you generate in relation to one and the other. The intensity of these projections can induce changes in your experience of your environment rapidly or slowly over a period of time, depending on whether or not you can maintain or sustain the transmission of a particular emotion and thought wave in conjunction with each other. That is, to have a common idea and a common emotion that generates common actions and thereby exerts an influence on the creative outcomes in your immediate environment. That is to say, if you were to get up and say, I'm going to write a poem today, and you get up and you write but one word, but you get distracted by something, then the psychic projection of your writing a poem is suddenly lost its energy, and now you're creating another psychic projection. You're distracted away from that projection into something else. Projection is the manifestation of your thought and emotion into the experience of what you call time and space. These projections can be either negative or positive. It does not matter in the overall scheme, but from your own personal experience, you would say, this is good for me, or this is not good for me. In which case, it becomes very important then for you to become conscious of what thought you would align yourself and what emotion you will place that thought onto, and what actions will be derived from your body that receives those thoughts and those emotions. All actions of human individuals originate from this simple projective process of thought combined with emotion interacting with matter to induce changes in the structures of time, space, and matter. The act of creation on this dimension depends upon this. While there are other faculties that you have available to you other than thought and emotion, the rampant and uncontrolled projection of thought and emotion on this dimension is what I wanted to address today. That many of you simply have thoughts running through your mind and react to those thoughts emotionally and energetically, and that you are unaware of that other than the fact that you find yourself feeling a certain way, or people responding to you in a certain way. The projections of energy must become a conscious function of your existence and not merely an unconscious automatic process. The structures in your body, the different parts of your body, are affected by the nature and quality of a particular thought and the emotion that is combined with it. In turn, your environment likewise receives these energy and responds to them. If you can glimpse even fundamentally the simplicity of what we're saying, then you'll come to an understanding that thought ought not to be something that you are unconscious of or that you allow to occur randomly in your mind, but that you must assume diligent, methodical, and deliberate control over what thoughts you allow into or out from your mind and the corresponding emotions that go with them, which are the projections that you place into this world. And all of you in this physical dimension are functioning in this fashion. It's just that so few of you are doing so consciously. There is a great miscreation going on of suffering because of this unconscious factor. If you loan your attention to someone else, they can direct your ability, your thought, your emotion to cause projections of their desiring. You see this within groups and organizations where a collective idea is accepted as a general function, and that collective organizes the collective thought and the collective energy to produce a manifestation, a structure, so to speak, in time and space, and your experience of it. But even the structures of a great collective can be overridden by the clarity of a single, well-defined projection from one who understands the dynamic and the process that's being articulated today, that a very clearly defined idea with a very clearly defined energy connected to it can transform and transmute vast areas of energy, time, and space if there's no resistance from the place where the vibration or the projection is emanating from. All of your thoughts, all of your emotions cause changes in the existing structures of the material world. You can feel this when you think a thought that's exciting. I like that color, or I enjoy that food, or I like that person, and you feel the structure of that thought organizing the energy, the emotion that goes with it, causing an immediate change in your experience of your own physicality. Even if that thought has nothing to do with you personally, even a thought about someone or something, the nature and quality of that thought combined with the energy that it stimulates and generates operates as a projection through your body, causing it to change, which in turn causes actions to unfold. You might say, I love that singer, and the projection then becomes, I will go to a concert, and the action is you go and get tickets and go watch this person at this event. Your thoughts organize qualities of emotional energy into the substance that directs the matter of this environment to respond to that projection. Insofar as you are conscious of what thoughts you are choosing to give attention to, and insofar as your emotional energies are conscious to you, they're not simply running on their own, to that degree and extent, you can control and direct many of the conditions of your life, including conditions of health and disease. It is a well-established fact for many tens of thousands of years that certain qualities of emotional energy do indeed generate very precise and specific conditions in the experience of your physicality, your body. If you understand what I'm saying, then you'll come to the conclusion that it becomes very important for you at this time especially to be very conscious of what thought you will give attention to, for each and every thought will stimulate emotional qualities that match it. And those two combined affect the conditions of matter. It organizes the structures, even the structure of your cellular functioning, the structure of information that you will receive from other realms that resonate with the nature and quality of the thoughts and emotions that you get aligned to. You may choose unconsciously certain thoughts, and you may defer your conscious choice to choose to another source of information, a parent or a teacher or a mentor or something else outside of you can act as an element that directs your function of thought and emotion without your even being aware that that process is happening. Many of you experience that when you are, say, passing the ground in a park and you see a stick on the ground, and a part of you has the thought that might be a snake, and you find your body jumping away from what is just a stick, and you go, oh, silly me, that was just a stick. But the thought was enough to generate a corresponding emotion that caused your physical system to react to something that was not actually what you thought it was or what your mind thought it was. And this process is ongoing for every single soul upon this planet. The consideration again is, are you conscious of what thought you will allow to occupy space in your mind? Are you conscious of what thought you will allow to direct your system of energy? Are you independent in that process? Are you dependent in that process? That is, are you expecting someone else to give you thoughts? And therefore stimulate emotions in you because you have not learned to do so yourself. But there's not one among you that cannot look in a mirror and say, if you so choose, I am unique, I am beautiful, and the corresponding energy that that thought can generate, if you're paying close attention, can begin to move you away from being wholly dependent on your environment to stimulate the necessary emotions that you would feel good being in this dimension with. Many of you depend upon people, places, foods, and objects to stimulate the emotional energy inside you when you yourself, in your own mind, have the capacity to do that. Is that not wonderful? That you can create structures of joy in your experience of this physical dimension, as equally as you can create structures of suffering and sadness in this physical dimension. And the difficulty you face now is so few of you at this time are deliberately and intentionally holding quality thoughts as a conscious and independent choice that you make. Many of you are stuck on devices outside of yourself, giving you instruction, manipulating your emotional energy, and you simply holding on for the ride. And I'm simply here to say that if you wish to be liberated from your suffering, then you are the one most capable of doing that. And you may be fortunate enough to find one who has established enough self-control that they've discerned what clearly the difference between that which is good and that which is not so good so well that you can depend to some degree on their guidance, but not surrender your function of thought or emotion to them. To weigh information deliberately and consciously is to give yourself the freedom to decide what will occupy your mind, what will be a creative influence in your experience of creation in this dimension. The vibrational energy of the emotion you call fear and the vibrational energy of the emotion that you call love, these are vibrational frequencies that you can choose between. They create very different conditions. They organize from the subatomic level of energies to the obvious sensorial energies of your 5 physical senses, that is sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. That from that subatomic level, what you see around you is a product of those 2 utilizations of energy, either fear or love. They each organize and structure matter very differently, including conditions of disease and health. If you understand this mechanism of projection, that the minute a thought is conceived, it generates an energy that you call an emotion in the system of your biology. The stronger and more intense the thought is, the stronger and more intense the emotion becomes, the greater then the influence of that emotion has over the conditions of matter, that is, the actions of your body, and also even the influential effects upon others around you. For when you project an energy out from your body, whether it is good or not so good, whether you project an energy out, it has its effects upon others as well. But those who they themselves understand that they can consciously select and choose the nature and quality of thought also understand that they can determine and are determining the nature and quality of energy that they are creating in. And so in that venue, that person can remain unsubjugated to the thoughts and emotions of other beings. An independent thinker or creator recognizes that they can choose thought, and they do so with great care and consideration, knowing full well that the nature and quality of thought determines to a large extent the nature and quality of the emotional energy and the actions that subsequently follow from that, the projection process of thought, emotion combined, generating energy, manifesting conditions in your experience of time, space, and matter. Many of you are wanting to aspire to understand other realms of consciousness when you have not even mastered the one you're existing in. And there are many here to assist you in that. But first, learn the basic understanding that your ability to choose thoughts that are what are going to serve you and your experience of creation in this world, what is going to serve you is very important to come to that awareness where you are consciously choosing your thoughts, consciously releasing thoughts that do not serve you, consciously doing these things so that you get a level of versatility in the act of creation, losing your subjectivity to the environment and recognizing you bear a direct relationship on what will happen in the environment rather than feeling like the environment is something that is being enforced upon you by outside agencies, when that is in truth not the case whatsoever when you come to the understanding of your own creative process in the realm of projecting creative energy into the fabric of time and space. There is a process of timing in the manifestation process. That timing is determined by several things. The first thing is there any resistance within you to what you would choose to think? Do you have an emotional energy that you can stimulate within you that is strong and powerful so that it exerts a very intense influence over matter to organize it quicker? The lower the vibration of the emotion, or the lower the vibration of the resistance to your thought, the quicker or slower a manifestation occurs. If there is no resistance to a thought, then it does not require much emotional energy in order for it to manifest, if there's no resistance within you to that. If there is resistance in you to that thought, then there will be a time delay. You'll have to work very hard at maintaining that thought, maintaining certain emotional qualities until the resistance is transmuted or overcome, you might say. But your projections are the thoughts that you hold towards yourself and to the world around you, the people you love, the places you be, the creatures and life forms you interact with. All of these thoughts and emotions operate as projections that organize the structure of your experiential reality in this physical dimension. You are doing this even right now. Whatever thoughts you're giving attention to, whatever emotional qualities you become aware that is connected to the nature of a particular thought, acts as a projecting influence into your experience of matter. There are some among you who have not had very many good thoughts about yourself lately, and if you simply start to shift your attention to thoughts that would be good about you and give attention to the emotion, the energy that that thought stimulates, as equally as the thoughts that you may not have that are so positive are stimulating one energy, so too when you draw your attention to a new thought, a new idea, a new energy becomes available to you. And if you're aware enough of this process, you can detect that emotional change, even if it's to the slightest degree. You can feel, I look in the mirror and I say, I am love, I am beautiful. And there is an emotional quality that is immediately stimulated the moment that thought is formulated in the electronic realm of thought, which is the bridge. The electronic realm is the bridge between the non-physical and the physical dimension of what you call emotion and action. And as you come to that awareness of even the slight change, you then become conscious that you can in fact access and choose different thought to stimulate emotional energies that will be far more useful in sustaining your own sense of well-being while allowing you to project into your creative process organized conditions that represent the energy that you're choosing to be in, that is stimulated by the thoughts that you hold intentionally in your mind. Yes, there is a process where you may take these thoughts and train them into your mind so deeply that they become a functional part of your structure. They maintain their position in the structure of your biology, and they become self-perpetuating, as all thought is accumulative and regenerative. And yet you as awareness can change that function, but all thought is cumulative and regenerative. At a certain point, it takes on a life of its own, just as the name that was given to your body has a life of its own now. If I say to you, John or Mary, you find your body reacting to that. It has a life of its own, that thought form, and all that is energetically connected to it. Thank you. Wow. So I'm going to summarize what he's saying, that basically any thought you think or any emotion that's connected to it acts as a projection that creates conditions in our environment. I hope you got that from him. It's really important that we understand this at this time. There's much more to be said in here. Good morning, Kira. Hi, Con. Hello, Caitlin. Hi, Adam. Hello, Adam. Question: can I ask Pan, what is the principal reason that causes certain devices, such deities such as him, to exhibit the primal foundation of an archetypal energy, masculine polarity? He says it's the natural polarity of creation. What you call your yin and yang is necessary for the function of perpetuated consciousness in this physical dimension. You must have polarity. You must have a masculine and feminine principle. You can call them polarity. Very simple. As to the cause of them, you can explore that by examining it in your own expression. When you have a certain experience that is good and an experience that is not so good, you can see how you use those particular polarities in the process of manifestation. Thank you, Adam. Hi, Faradiba. Hi, Vertical. Vertical's asking, what is the function of Metatron's cube, and how can this sacred geometry be distinctively applied in everyday life to achieve best outcomes in one's life? It's important that you understand that the nature of sacred geometry is that it is based in certain principles and constructs of knowledge and understanding that particular structures do in fact have an energy to them, that they do in fact organize conditions of matter. The mere holding in your consciousness of this structure that you call my cube, which is simply an organization of qualities of creative energy that organizes very specific conditions. You may, by indulging in it and feeling and sensing that energy, experience for yourself the true meaning of that construct, which is extremely organized, very integrative, and without limit. And to experience yourself in that consciousness is quite a very remarkable experience. Hello from Holland. Hi, Jana. Hi, Earth Angel. Hi, Moran. Hello, Silver King. Welcome. So that's a great question, too. Danielle is asking, can you please explain what is black matter from a spiritual point of view? It's funny, he's laughing. He's saying, you must understand what they call black matter is what your science has been discovering as plasma. It's that substance that your science refers to as plasma. Some of you think that it is antimatter, but it is not. It is pre-matter. It is a polarity of one state to another that you call matter. But it's a very exciting consideration to recognize that there is a substance that is in somewhat polarity to what you call matter, but is necessary in order for matter to exist, as equally as matter is necessary for that polarity to exist. You would have a very difficult time walking around on one leg, because you need the opposition of both in order to drive that physical form forward. You require that. And so you must have polarized energies to enact the process of creation on any dimension in any universe. Although the laws of polarity will be slightly different from one university to another, but they function in essentially the same manner. Well, thank you. Question from Nancy. Is there a mantra we can say to raise us out of a busy mind to a still mind? I would not recommend that you have a specific mantra, but I would certainly recommend the most simplest and direct course to this place of stillness that you seek, and that is this. Simply listen to nothing. Listen to the space between sounds and look at the space between your thoughts. In there, you will find what you seek. And when you have that stillness, you will have your will free again. Look to those places. There are others that will give you mantras. I will give you this, that look to the stillness between thoughts and look to the space between things. Contemplate those spaces and you will find the peace that you seek. For every thought has a beginning and an ending. Everything in this physical dimension has a space between itself and another thing. If you contemplate the space, you'll come to the understanding of the stillness that exists within you and all around you. And with that understanding, you can, from within that stillness, begin a process of deliberately creating the conditions of your life from the perspective of using projections, as I have described earlier. When you combine thought and emotion, consciously and deliberately, it is only from that space of stillness that you can bring into that space a thought of your own choosing. But until you learn to stay in that place of space between thoughts, between objects, it will be very difficult to learn to hold a thought. But that place of stillness is the one place where all creation originates. You have it in some of your scriptures that it says, in the beginning, everything was waste and void. Is that not a space? And in that space, creation unfolded. Well, in the space of your own consciousness between your thoughts, there is a place for creation, desired creation, for you to enter into and stimulate the wonders of your life that are possible to you from what you do not know into the known. Wow, thank you so much. That's a great question. Wow. Silver King, what I wear the Metatron cube around my neck all the time. Is that beneficial for me? If you understand that simply wearing the structure as an object is not as valuable as experiencing the vibrational meaning of that structure, sit with it. Do not try to figure it out, but allow yourself to feel the structure, and its energy. Allow yourself to feel the structure of its energy. And there you will come to the understanding of its value, why you are attracted to it. It is not the image, it is the energy that you are seeking to understand, and the sense of great power and organization that comes with understanding your ability to give structure to thoughts and ideas that organizes matter in such a fashion. Question from SJK. Can I have a message from any of my German ancestors? I'm being told to tell you no, not at this time, but SJK, if you would, at the end of this video, leave that request in the comment section when the video has been reposted, and I will certainly be more than happy to address that for them, because they would like to connect with you as well. That I'm getting right now. They would like to connect with you, but not at this moment in this particular structure of energy. But thank you. Question from Adam. Oh, okay. But I wanted to know, why is his energy specifically is heavily associated with energetic vibration of male sexual energy? He's laughing at you. He's saying, you must understand not to take on the interpretations of who I am from other people, but please understand it's much more valuable for you to get into alignment with your own. If you get in alignment with your own, you will come to a much deeper understanding, rather than having all these questions of uncertainty in your mind, because your mind is filled with the interpretations and information of everybody else and everything else that you've studied. I would simply say to you, I am love. I am light. I am nature. I am the masculine. I am the feminine. I am not divided, one or the other. I am whole. I am the two into one. Wow. A question from Caitlin. How can I move forward out of this confusion, blankness I seem to be in? Thank you. If you have heard what has been said, then you will understand the value of turning your attention to the space between your thoughts. In that space, there is no confusion. There is simply space. But in that space, you may bring forth a thought of your deliberate choosing into that space, and to feel what that thought stimulates on its own in that space. You will feel the thought in that space if you were to choose the thought, I am love, in that space, and to feel the energy that that thought stimulates. That thought stimulates a specific energy that operates as an influence over the conditions of matter, your body, your physical system. And if you stay in connection to this energy and this thought, and you stay with it, I am love, and feel the stimulation of energy, with each repetition of that process, you stimulate the vibration even more, much the same way as you are on a swing set and you get a push and somebody pushes you again, and they don't have to push hard to get you to go higher. At a certain point, it gets very easy. But in that place, you must become aware of the thought and the energy that that thought stimulates, as equally as you are aware of the thoughts that you have in your mind that stimulate the energy that you are seeking to get away from. And the only way to get away from it is to simply move into another train of thought, into another system of awareness. And it is that space between your thoughts where you can bring in a new thought, generate a new energy, and liberate yourself from that which you no longer need in your life, that which is not you. Great question. Oh, you're very welcome, Nancy. Remember, if you're new to the channel, remember to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell. We are almost at 2,000 subscribers. I think we got 11 more subscribers, and we will be at 11 more subscribers, and we will be at 2,000. Woohoo! It's been a long haul, and I'm so grateful for all of your support for this. And I want to thank all my guides and angels and all the archangels and the multidimensional beings that work through this channel. I am so grateful for all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Question from Shane. Is there anything in particular I should be focusing on at this time? He's saying, if you are focusing on projections that are good, that is, thoughts that are of a quality that they stimulate an energy that is pleasing to you, then you will find that that will loan itself to great freedom in a very short order. Many of you have thought, you must stay attached to the thoughts that are running through your mind that the world has given you. No. The minute you place your attention on the space between your thoughts and you go into that space, there is no thought in that space. In the place where there is no thought, you can bring in thought of your own choosing instead of the thoughts that this world has projected onto you. Now you can create new thought and project your new thought into this world. Do you understand? Do you understand what I say? That space between your thoughts, where there is no thought, that you can bring new thought into that space and create new energy in that space and bear witness to the energy that you give birth to in that space. Wow. Thank you, Shane. Great question. All great questions today, guys. Really appreciate it. Got time for 3 more questions. Question from Rachel. My son, Nathan, says he sees a dark negative entity sometimes. What is this thing and what advice should I give him? Thank you very much. The first consideration is to teach him to give attention to his own light. You see, there are many different levels of entities across an infinite spectrum that you, from this perspective of existence, you would call one thing good or one thing evil. But that does not necessarily mean that that which you call evil is evil and that which you call good is good. It is important you understand that if your son perceives this energy and he feels afraid, that does not mean it is not a good entity, but it does not mean it is a bad entity either. Please understand. Pull his attention away from the distraction. Have him go to the place between his own thoughts. And in the space of his own mind, tell him to focus on these words. My nature is love. My nature is love. To speak those words, to think those words. My nature is love. And to feel the energy that those vibrational words set up. Those vibrational words stimulate an energy. My nature is love. And for him to be attentive to that will change many things in his life, including what he perceives and how he perceives it around him. For he cannot see the truth through a lie of the mind any more than you can see what he's seeing now. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for the thumbs up. A question from Moran. Is darkness going to be exposed soon? Dear one, are you not exposing the darkness with your light in every moment? It is not the darkness of this world that you need to concern yourself with. You need to concern yourself with the light of your own being. For in the light of your own being is all darkness expelled. In the light of your own being, many of you have been conditioned to think that you must find your value and your meaning from the world around you, but you already are the value and meaning that you seek. And so in the expression of your light, in the being of your being light, all darkness is expelled from your life. In being the light that you are, all darkness is expelled from your life. And as more and more of you come to the understanding of these truths, you will not be so encaptured by the environment anymore. The environment will begin to yield itself to your light, as it does now anyway, and as it does to even what you call the darkness. Remember, you are the light. Wow, thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Moran. One more question. What emotion is the red skin irritation under my eye? Thank you. Yeah. you need to go into your eye. Metatron's just stepping back from this. You need to go into your eye. Go to what is the emotion, what is the feeling you have around that sensation in the eye, and you'll know what the emotion is. Is it irritation? Is it fear? What is it? What is the emotion you feel when you are aware of it? Because then you become aware. It's not just irritation. There's an emotion connected to every manifestation in the body. There's an emotion connected to every manifestation in the body and all the conditions of our life. And so I encourage you to go into, when you go to the mirror, look in the mirror and ask yourself, what is the feeling? And then if the feeling is sadness, if the feeling is irritation, if the feeling is anger, doesn't matter what the feeling is, extend your love to it. Because there's a part of your body is calling your attention to it. Your body is saying, I need attention. So many people ignore their bodies. Your body's talking to us all the time. Master Jesus and many others have talked about this, how your body is there. It's always talking to you. And most people just don't know how to listen. And it's trying to tell you something. And you know that. You know it's trying to tell you something. You know it is, right? But you've got to find out, is it sadness? Is it anger? Is it irritation? What is your body communicating to you? And then offer to it your love. Your love will transform and transcend the conditions in the body in ways no medicine can. You know, a vibration of exquisite love can literally heal your body in an instant. You know? Anyway, I want to wish you all much love. I want to say thank you for all your questions, all your support. And let's see if we can get to that 2,000 subscriber mark before the end of this month. I would really love that and appreciate that. And it would be a lot of fun too. And again, I want to say thank you so much, everybody, for coming out. If you want to know more about what we're doing on our courses and classes and our mediumship master classes, you can go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and check out our upcoming summer schedule for our mediumship program and register for the courses and classes in advance. Yes, if you want to support this channel, you can do so through my Patreon page, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. You can also use the super chat feature or the super thanks, which is now a feature under any of my videos that you can use to say thank you if you've gotten benefit or information that really helped you out from any of the channeling sessions we've done here. So have yourselves a wonderful, joyful day. And remember to join us here this Wednesday on Shortcuts to Your Soul. To deny your health is to deny your mastery. And that's with Master Buddha. And that's going to be on this Wednesday. So please come join us for that. And on Friday of Shortcuts, it's going to be Authentic Happiness, Your True Nature of Being. And that's going to be with Master St. Germain this Friday. So have yourselves a great day, everybody. And again, enjoy this incredible day on this glorious mother of a planet. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.